You are listening to Making It in the Toy Industry, episode number 260.
Welcome to Making It in the Toy Industry, a podcast for inventors, entrepreneurs, and makers like you. And now, your host, Azhelle Wade.
Hey there, toy people. Azhelle Wade here, and welcome back to another episode of Making It in the Toy Industry. This is a weekly podcast brought to you by thetoycoach.com. I'm sure you've already noticed that my voice is nearly gone after 4 days at New York Toy Fair. It was a great show for myself, so we are going to be doing an exclusive interview series for the rest of this month and into next month as we dive into some of the trends and conversations had at New York Toy Fair. This series is going to be a little different from our usual format. Instead of breaking up our interviews with separate takeaway episodes after them as we've been doing this year. Instead, I'm going to be sharing those key takeaways and key recap notes from the previous guest at the start of the next episode. So that way we can get through all of the amazing interviews that I was able to gather at this show, but still get those recaps at the top of that episode. So I'm hoping that'll help you actually take away the information that the guests are giving, but also encourage you to come back and finish up the interview series. But to kick this all off, I want to start with my own recap of New York Toy Fair. Now, I'm still in research mode a bit, still gathering what people actually thought of the show. Was it a good show for them? Was it a bad show, and why? And I'm not going to give you a blanket statement. When I do come back with this report, I definitely am already seeing that it is going to be a mixed bag of opinions, depending on if someone is a larger toy company, mid-size, smaller, or if someone is in the media, as myself at press or the media, or if somebody is in marketing at a company. So my really quick overview right now, before I have official quotes that I'm allowed to use and unofficial anonymous quotes I'm about to use, what I will say is this. There are certain sections of the Toy Fair floor that were not as active as others. And there are some smaller companies that were on the lower level of these sections that would have preferred to be in a different spot. What I'm hearing for bigger companies, however, is that it was an incredible show. Incredible because they got to reconnect with a lot of their friends, colleagues in the industry. They kind of had this big marketing moment that showed major appreciation for the work that they'd done and achieved. And for many of the toy industry people who are from LA, I'm going to shout out Jeremy Padawar here, who did a post talking about how post the LA fires, this was a much needed rejuvenation to get back with your toy people and feel that sense of play and excitement and just kind of reinvigorating the love for the business. Jeremy said that Toy Fair New York is back, and I will share the link to his post in the show notes because there were a lot of great comments from other industry players in that post comment section. But I also will say I've heard from a lot of mid-sized companies that decided to not attend New York Toy Fair that they're glad they didn't because there wasn't a huge audience of people walking through the aisles to discover new product. What I was seeing, as we said before we headed off to New York Toy Fair, the importance of booking meetings, well, that seemed more true at this show than ever. It seems those people that had full sales teams or sales reps to book meetings for them and kind of jam-pack their show date did well. But those of you who went in an attempt to make new connections and kind of get discovered had a little bit of a harder time and kind of had to get a little scrappy with networking events, with how you reached out to people and brought them to your booth, friends of friends, and using your relationships to generate some revenue and visibility at the show. Now, I will say my marketing people, both corporate and individual press, like myself, loved this show. I mean, there's so many. You can see from the toy book to the influencers that attended the show, loved the show, and how can you not? It's an incredible marketing opportunity. If you're creating content, there is no easier place to create content than a toy fair, right? And toy fair in New York, even better. I mean, you've got the backdrop, you've got the fun, you've got the people. It's got all of the ingredients for viral content. So we love it. We, the press, love it. But enough about the woes of press. I'm sure if you were at New York Toy Fair, you too got in anywhere from 8,000 to 15 or 20,000 steps every day, walking up and down the aisle, and still probably didn't get to see everything. So other feedback I've heard from people attending the show, from inventors who are not there to sell product, but rather meet with toy companies and sell their ideas. What I heard is the inventors are, it was a very good show for them because their clients were there and their clients were making time to meet with them, which they all appreciated. And their clients being the toy manufacturers themselves who want to license ideas. However, the inventors definitely noted that the event was less attended in the sense that it was less crowded. I actually had one inventor say, no, we're usually like shoulder to shoulder in this place. It's dead, is what this person said. And also, I had several people comment to me on how far back the show went and that it used to go further back. Now, listen, I don't take full inventory every time I go to a New York Toy Fair. I am not that picky or analytical about how big this show is. In my personal opinion, it's a little better for manufacturers when the shows aren't so big because it gives retailers a chance to get to all of the things in the show. But these were some of the things I was hearing. Now, however, I believe the look and the vibe of the show was great. It was very much camaraderie focused and networking focused. The events that I attended did that same thing. It was very much about letting loose with your toy people and having fun and playing and enjoying the success of the year. But everybody's experience at Toy Fair is different. So I'm hoping that throughout this interview series, this exclusive interview series for New York Toy Fair 2025, we will uncover all of the different angles and aspects and experiences of New York Toy Fair. Today, I am thrilled to welcome a guest to the show who I've known in my toy journey for, I think, well over 12 years now. And our guest today is Jayson Esterow of License to Play Toys. Now, I met Jayson while I was working for Fred and Steve Ellman. And Fred and Steve are inventors in the toy industry. Their father, Julius, partnered with Mr. Potato Head creator George Lerner, so they're no strangers to invention. And I was working with them on a project they were developing clickies, doing design work, so I was always at their studio and their workshop. And that is where I met Jayson, who had an office down the hall. So we just saw each other all the time. We would talk and we just all got along. It was just so fun working in a little workshop on toys. And it's been incredible to see his evolution in the industry. I remember just seeing how they were working out of the small office that they then had back in the day, how hard he was working, how focused he was, and just never gave an air or energy of, maybe this won't work. Like, some people that are just always confident that they're going to figure it out. That's Jayson Esterow. So it's been incredible to witness his evolution in the toy industry, and he complimented the same to me, so thank you, Jayson. And as the owner and president of License to Play Toys, Jayson has been instrumental in bringing innovative products to market. His company's recent licensing agreement with Jeep, that was majorly on display at Toy Fair this year, is focused on how to create toys for the Jeep ducking phenomenon. It's a trend we'll cover in the interview where Jeep owners place rubber ducks on fellow Jeeps as a friendly gesture. It is a testament to Jayson's ability to identify and tap into current emerging cultural moments. But this clever collaboration, in my opinion, doesn't just showcase Jayson's innovative approach to licensing in the toy industry, but it also highlights the importance and value of doing something you really love doing and not just something because it's cool. You'll see what I mean and why I say that as we dive into this interview. Oh, and I have to say, if you're listening to this episode, keep on listening because I'm sure you're working out or driving or doing something super important. But you have got to check out the full video on YouTube because Jayson and I are doing this interview from a Jeep. Jayson, thank you so much for joining me on this drive at Toy Fair. Like, I'm so excited to chat with you about this new Jeep partnership you got going on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show. So I actually want to talk about licensing because so many people that check out my podcast do not understand licensing and like how it can help grow their business. And you are like the king of licensing.
I wouldn't say that, man.
So your company, License to Play,
Yes.
king of licensing. Who would have thought to partner with a car brand?
So this was a very interesting one, right?
Yeah.
So Jeep is where the duck trend all started. So Jeep ducking, I've been a Jeep owner for 10 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so this is like a love of the product, love of the brand. And I've been a Jeep owner for 10 years. I've been ducking Jeeps for probably the last like 2 or 3 years with my children. And so this was like a labor of love. And a quick phone call into Jeep is what set this all off. They were so open to licensing and building the brand around it. So.
Okay, I'm going to embarrass myself, but I have no idea what ducking is. I mean, my brother's wife, my sister-in-law, she has a Jeep, and she has all these ducks, and she kind of explained it to me, but, like, I don't really know. Why is it called ducking? What is that?
So it's a feel-good moment, right? So it started up in Canada. I'm drawing a blank on the woman's name, unfortunately, who started during COVID.
Yeah.
And she started leaving little ducks on fellow Jeep owners' cars. And so what started out as like just a little tiny like woman in Canada became a big, huge trend that got viral, like went viral.
So, like, what happens? Like, do you collect ducks on your own, or is someone supposed to give you the ducks?
So you buy some ducks, right? Hopefully they're the officially licensed Jeep ducks going forward.
Say Jeep.
So you buy ducks, you buy a whole bunch of them, and then you go duck a car. So my kids will go leave notes on different Jeep owners' cars and say you've been ducked. And that's ducking.
So you actually gift Jeeps to people?
Gift ducks, yes.
You gift ducks to Jeep people.
That's it. That's the whole trend right there. And so, like, there are Disney ducks out there. There's Hello Kitty ducks, but nothing is an official Jeep licensed duck.
Okay, I was obsessed with Jeeps when I was younger, and it was one of the cars that I really wanted. I had a vision that I would have like a blue teal Jeep. Like, you could see me in that, right?
Yeah, oh, totally see you in that. Yes.
Yeah, I would love to get ducked in my Jeep. That's really cool. So tell me a little bit about this partnership. What are you hoping to do differently for the ducks now that you have the Jeep license?
So we have a lot of ducks coming out. We have a lot of different ideas for concepts and what we're going to do here. We have throwbacks. Being a Jeep owner, I understand what Jeep ducks really means to the ownerships themselves. So we're hoping to be able to do like Jeeps like to have an iconic tire and do a tire wrap around a Jeep that says like, you know, something with the ducks. We have throw blankets coming because as a Jeep owner, you have the car top down and you're always going to be a little bit chilly in the back, right? So we're doing things, and of course we're going to have variety and collectibles and all different ducks coming, like, you know, so you'll see a little bit here. This is the early on prototypes that we were able to get in time for the show, but you're going to see a whole range of hundreds, if not thousands of ducks.
So I don't know if you're allowed to share this. Just let me know if you can. But licensing is usually category specific. I assumed you just had like the plastic toy license for Jeep. Is it bigger than that?
I think it's bigger than that, right? So it certainly started with the plastic ducks, but we're talking about plush. We're going to do inflatables for like your pool. Imagine like a duck for your pool. We have figures, we have pillows, like I said, the throw blanket. So we're going to definitely have a lot of bigger category.
That is so cool. How do you think that the Jeep community is going to respond to having branded Jeep products?
If it's anything like the response we're having at Toy Fair, it's going to be amazing.
Oh, what's it been like at New York Toy Fair?
This is definitely, I would say, one of the hottest brands that we have in our booth for sure. And I think actually overall at the entire trade show, to be honest with you.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Jayson, congratulations on this licensing partnership. And didn't you just win an award for Deddy Bears?
Yes, we did win a TOTY award for the Deddy Bear brand that we helped bring to market in the United States. So yes, we're on a little bit of a streak right now, and we hope to continue that. So yes.
Well, congratulations on all your success, and thank you so much for taking the time for this interview.
Coach.
Yes, anytime. Well, there you have it, toy people. I hope you enjoyed my interview with Jayson Esterow, but hold on. I've got a little bit of a surprise for you. It's not over yet. At the end of my interview, you may have heard me congratulate Jayson on winning the TOTY Award for Collectible of the Year. And there's more to that story. So there's a brand that Jayson represents underneath License to Play called Deddy Bears. That's the brand that took home the award. So right after this interview, Jayson invited me to step further into his booth and to meet the creator behind it all, behind Deddy Bears. So I've got a bit of a surprise for you. You don't have to wait any longer to hear that conversation. We're jumping right in to a convo with the founder of Deddy Bears, Gavin Lawler. He and his wife started the company in Dublin back in 2018 under Innovate Creative Academy. And in just a few years, they built a brand that's now officially award-winning. In this interview, I think I made Gavin blush a little bit because I put him in the same league as some pretty big hitters, and he was super, super grateful and humble about it. Okay, let's get into it. Toy people, I am here with the creator of this year's Collectible of the Year, Toy of the Year Award. Gavin, congratulations on the win.
Why, thank you. And may I just say that I am totally in love with your hair.
Oh. I'm trying something new.
I can definitely see one of my characters. There's some influence coming through.
You can get inspired.
I'm totally
just
inspired.
Send me a sample. It's a Collectible of the Year, Toy of the Year Award. Is this your first Toy of the Year award?
It is my first toy. So I've been in the toy trade for 15 years, and it was quite a moment, if I'm being completely honest with you. From I suppose a professional standpoint, it's probably the pinnacle of my career. But the timing is the product is excellent. It's exceptional. We're in 65,000 retail doors in 50 countries.
65,000?
Yeah, retail doors. Yeah, so it's a great product. It's a genuinely great product.
Wow. Yeah. And when you talk about Collectible of the Year, you're in league with people like Squishmallows. We're talking big. This is a big
Look,
win.
You're putting me in with some big people there and big names. I think, look, the bottom line is, right, we found some white space. We're not quite creepy and we're not quite Disney. We're just in this middle lane where it absolutely works. Yeah. Right? So, and we found our success in this white space. That's what we managed to do. So
I love that you brought it back to white space. I teach new innovators how to break into the industry all the time. First thing I say, find the white space. Don't create a product that already exists. Can you share a little bit about how you uncovered this white space, whatever you can?
Oh, this is my favorite topic. This is my favorite topic. So there's so many people who don't really understand the process of innovation. And I'm not saying that it's you've got to go to a technical school to understand how to process innovation.
Right.
For me, what works best for me is a formula. It's called FBO, first, best and only. Ooh. So I will be the first in the market, tick the box. I will be the best in the market, tick the box. And I'll be the only in the market that challenges myself to bring in many unique selling points to the item. So that's like a set of criteria that I set for myself before I sketch and before I work on these brands. More times than not, you walk away and you're disappointed, but every now and again you just get that one where that you get that feeling, the hairs stick up in the back of your neck and you can't walk away from the project, and you just absolutely know in your heart and in your soul that you've got a winner. And I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of had that with Deddy Bears.
Wow.
Yeah, when I walked away from it, I was like, oh, I just know, you know.
Wow. You gave me chills with that answer. You took us to church. Nothing else needed. Oh my gosh. So what was the process like? Did you work on your own to create these Deddy Bears and then find a partnership here with License to Play?
Correct. Yeah, I've been doing this for 15 years. And like I said, you have some successes, you have some failures, but the bottom line is when you know you have something, you present, and if it's good enough, and if the people behind it are good enough, and if the product is good enough, the money typically follows. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened when we built into this space. Look, we're die-hard entrepreneurs. Even when our self-esteem is on the floor, our self-belief is through the roof, okay? Yeah, and that's a really important thing for an entrepreneur. We believe in ourselves, right? It's not facetiousness, it's not cockiness, it's not egotistical. It's okay to have a belief, and that's something that I kind of try to teach to other people too, Stick your chest out, be brave with your designs, fall in love with it, mess about with it, look at the trends and build into that white space, as you keep saying.
Oh, love that. So you keep saying we. Who's the we on your team?
Oh, we've got a seriously good team. There's just no I in team, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about shared work. It's all about, I might have an idea, and so I've got my co-founders, my wife, I've got 4 or 5 incredible.
Yeah. My husband won't work with me. No. Yeah, he says we'll kill each other.
She was my co-founder. I didn't say she liked working with me. She's good. She's cool. unusual.
She started founding it and she was like, I'm out. You make the money. I'm just, no.
We do have a process. So typically one of us will come up with the kernel and we'll incubate it and turn it into the popcorn. All right. Okay. So that's what we do. So
cute.
sometimes my wife will have
his like little euphemisms and acronyms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
Wow.
Well, it's important to like what you do too. Right?
Yeah.
It's not easy when everybody says no. I think a good example would be when I first made Deddy Bears, like, we had 100 no's before we had one yes.
Yeah, and I bet those no's were like really like, dude, you're crazy. Like they were,
they sting. They hurt. They sting because you kind of, it's like you've created something that you're just magnificently proud of, right?
Yeah, and no one sees it.
No one sees it. No one sees it.
And you're like, but really, I see it. And they're like,
Look, the lesson in it is don't give up, right?
Don't give up.
I mean, how many times you get told that to your people?
oh my gosh,
Right.
every
White space.
every phone call.
I mean, most entrepreneurs, our thing is, right, it's resilience.
Yeah.
Right? Because all you're going to hear is a ton of no's before you get them ton of yeses.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
interesting because I likened you to Squishmallows. Jeremy Padawar came on our podcast and one of his topic was resilience in entrepreneurship and how important that is. So great minds think alike.
Well,
yes.
but in fairness, that man is a genius.
Right.
Yeah, that man is an absolute
He's
genius.
a straight genius.
Yeah, but you got with the likes of Jazzwares, with Judd and Laura and all these guys, and even Herb. These guys are incredible. Like, for me, like when I grow up, I want to be like them.
Oh,
right?
you're growing up.
Yeah, well, I've got to give the industry titans their dues, right? I'm making product, they're making history.
Oh.
But it's nice for us to look up to that, right? It's nice for us to look up to that. So I need to aspire to be as good as the best, right? If I continue to, or if I think that I am the best, I'll lose my edge, right?
Very true.
So you gotta remain humble. You gotta remain resilient.
Hungry.
Yeah, hungry. No, not hungry. Starving. If you drop it beside the pizza on the floor, I'm gonna freaking eat it. All right. That's how much I want to be the best at the toys.
Oh, love this.
Okay.
So inspiring. Like, let's go. So going off of that, you also have an incredible collaboration with over here. Let's back up and take a look at Liquid Death.
Yeah.
My favorite. I just gotta throw it. I want. Should I?
You should.
This seems dangerous.
It's not dangerous. Yeah.
So needed at the show. Why is it so dry here?
I know, right? It's quite dry. It's the air conditioning.
My voice just changed.
Yeah, but your hair remains the same, and it's lighting up the room, so that's the main thing.
So talk to me about this Deddy Bear collab. I'm sure Liquid Death is a brand that so many toy companies want to get in with. How did you make this happen, and what are you doing with this collab?
So it's an interesting one, right? So the more success you have at retail, the more the doors open up, right? And that's just the process. That's just what happens. It's very few and far between where you're going to get somebody of this stature who's going to say right out the gates or right out the traps, oh, you look like a good company, let's collaborate. These guys are a titan of industry. Not only that, they're incredibly cool, and they're good human beings.
Are they?
They are. They're really, really good. So we've got this we have the most incredible partner called Stacey Reiner from Remarkable Brands. And Stacey came to me and she was like, okay, Gav, what do we got to do? And I'm like, okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get this license. I want you to talk to these. I want you to get this.
Yeah.
She came back with this and I was like, yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some.
They probably also looked at your product and said, hell yeah. Like, who else are they going to partner with in the industry that does this?
Talk about a match made in heaven.
So,
right?
yeah, so perfect.
And every retailer that we sell in, every one of them is completely excited about this.
Yay.
It's a match made in heaven.
So
right?
what's it going to be?
Yeah, so if I don't know how much you know about the branding for Liquid Death, and I'm not going to speak out of turn either, but they do have their mascot, so we wanted to get a ton of their branding in, make it look, and then just put our little spin of our Deddy Bear on it, right? So it's a co-brand, and it'll be an exclusive to, I know, some of the bigger stores, the Walmart, Targets. Yeah, the one SKU to start, but we'll turn them into an assortment over a period of time.
And Liquid Death, didn't they just expand into like drinks of some sort, or like there's some flavor?
Yeah, nothing surprises me about them. They are hands down one of the best marketing companies on the planet.
Yeah.
Like every young person coming out of a college should study these guys.
Wow.
It is how it is done.
Wow.
Everybody overcomplicates marketing for me, right? I mean, at its core, it's quite simple. You get some creative people.
Yeah.
How much is it? What is it? And where is it? And that's it.
Yeah.
Right? Get the eyes on it and create the brand and drive the revenue.
Yeah.
And so many people complicate it.
Yeah.
So many people. You need to do this. You need to do that. And this activation is, too many variations, too many layers.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Yeah. What is it? Where is it? How much is it? Get the eyes on the prize. And the people, if your product is good enough, the people buy it.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. If it's not, put it to bed, pull the duvet over its head and go back and make another one.
Thank you for this masterclass in licensing, product development, award-winning. Can we see your TOTY award? What do you have over there? What do you got over there? Can you bring it over? What do you? Do you actually have the award?
I do.
Oh my gosh, he's got the actual award.
I have it wrapped up in my skull.
Oh, very
my
secure.
skull cravat.
Did they not give you a case? Look at that. What? Hold on.
Yeah.
The award-winning.
Yeah.
Award-winning Deddy Bears.
Yeah.
So cool. Gavin, thank you so much
You're
for
very
taking the
welcome.
time for
You're
this
very
interview.
welcome.
Thanks for sharing with us your TOTY. It was a pleasure to get to know you and
Thank
chat
you.
with you.
Thank
An
you.
honor, honestly.
Yeah.
And I hope to see more of you in the future.
100%.
Yeah.
Love to talk to you at any stage.
Yes, take care. Take
Thank
care.
you. Thank
Have
you.
a great rest of your show.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it, toy people. An interview from inside the License to Play booth at New York Toy Fair 2025. My conversations with Jayson, Esterow, and Gavin Lawler were both enlightening and super inspiring. Jayson's journey from the early days when I first met him to today and his incredible Jeep partnership collaboration just shows the power of licensing and how impactful it can be to tap into organic consumer trends that have a bit of an emotional appeal. Also, I love that Jayson himself is a Jeep owner and personally is involved with Jeep ducking and isn't just doing this for the commercial part of it, but it's because he believes in the heart of it. And then stepping deeper into the License to Play booth to meet Gavin Lawler, fresh off his TOTY win, where he actually pulled out his TOTY award for Collectible of the Year, was just an amazing sample for how bold creative ideas can just break through the industry. We talked about white space. Gavin gave some great acronyms for developing products to fit that white space. I mean, seeing what he did with Deddy Bears and how he used a partnership like the one with License to Play to increase the visibility of this product to the point where he is among the greats, I would say. Like, Squishmallows is just incredible. But we're not done yet, toy people. This exclusive interview series from New York Toy Fair 2025 continues next week. At the top of next week's episode, I'll start off with a quick recap of the key lessons and takeaways from this week's episode, and then we'll get right into our next interview. I want you to feel like you were at New York Toy Fair if you weren't, or like you were in the room with me as I conducted these interviews, just absorbing all of the toy industry insights so you can start, launch, or grow your own toy career, business, or inventor venture. All right? If I saw you at New York Toy Fair, it was so lovely to meet you. Hello again. And if you snapped a picture with me, please, please, please upload it and tag me. I'd love to share it and just have that picture for myself. As always, thank you so much for being here with me today. I know there are a ton of podcasts out there, so it truly means the world to me that you tune into this one. If you love this podcast and you haven't already left a review, what are you waiting for? Your reviews keep me coming back week after week. They keep me inspired and motivated to know that you are listening and you do love, need, and care about this type of content. So please leave a review. You can be super specific and tell me what you want to hear next, or you could just be general and say what you love about the show. As always, thank you so much for spending time with me here today. I know your time is valuable and that there are a ton of podcasts out there, so it truly means the world to me that you tune into this one. Until next week, I'll see you later, toy people.
Thanks for listening to the Making It in the Toy Industry podcast with Azhelle Wade. Head over to thetoycoach.com for more information, tips, and advice.